On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected. The Notorious B.I.G., born Christopher Wallace, met a tragic and violent end on March 9, 1997, when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles at the age of 24. His murder remains unsolved, shrouded in mystery and speculation, a reflection of the volatile tensions that defined the hip-hop world in the 1990s. Wallace, one of the most influential rappers of all time, was at the center of the infamous East Coast-West Coast rivalry, a feud that had already claimed the life of fellow rap icon Tupac Shakur just 6 months earlier. His death underscored the dangerous intersection of music, fame, and real-world violence at a time when hip-hop was transitioning from an underground movement to mainstream dominance. Wallace was in Los Angeles to promote his second and final album, Life After Death, and to attend industry events. As he left a party at the Peterson Automotive Museum, his SUV stopped at a red light when a Chevy Impala pulled up beside him. A lone gunman fired multiple shots, hitting Wallace 4 times. He was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. The murder, eerily similar to Tupac's assassination, deepened the sense of paranoia and loss within the hip-hop community. The immediate consequence was an outpouring of grief from fans, artists, and industry figures, as well as heightened scrutiny of the unresolved violence plaguing the genre. In the aftermath of his death, Wallace's legend only grew. Life After Death was released just weeks later and became one of the best-selling rap albums of all time, solidifying his status as a lyrical genius whose storytelling, flow, and wordplay set a new standard in hip-hop. His murder, however, left behind lingering questions about the cost of success in an industry fraught with real-life dangers. It also played a role in easing tensions within hip-hop, as many artists sought to move past the conflicts that had claimed 2 of the genre's biggest stars. Biggie's legacy endures through his music, which remains influential decades after his passing. He is immortalized in murals, documentaries, and biopics, with his life and work continuously analyzed and celebrated. The circumstances of his death serve as a cautionary tale about the intersection of art and violence. Yet his music remains a testament to his brilliance. Wallace's story is one of both triumph and tragedy, a reflection of the heights that hip-hop can reach and the darkness that can accompany fame. His legacy, however, is one of greatness, forever remembered as one of the greatest rappers to ever live. Charles Bukowski, the German-American poet, novelist, and chronicler of the raw and unfiltered corners of life, died of leukemia on March 9, 1994, at the age of 73. His death was a natural one, yet it symbolized the end of an era of literary rebellion, one that thrived on grit, cynicism, and an unapologetic embrace of life's bleakest moments. Bukowski, whose work often centered on the struggles of the working class, alienation, and the search for meaning in a world that offered little comfort, lived and died on his own terms. His passing marked the conclusion of a life spent raging against literary convention and societal expectations. Bukowski's death came at a time when alternative voices in literature were becoming more mainstream. While his early career was defined by underground publishing and a devoted cult following, by the time of his passing, he had gained significant recognition in literary circles. His works, once dismissed as crude or obscene, had found their place in academia and popular culture alike. The fact that he died of leukemia, a disease that slowly and inevitably drained the strength of a man who had built his persona around excess and defiance, felt almost ironic. Death came not in a blaze of glory, but in the quiet, inescapable march of time. The immediate impact of Bukowski's death was an outpouring of reflection from the literary community and his devoted readers. Many saw his passing as the loss of one of the last truly unfiltered voices in American literature. He was a writer who had, through his poetry and novels like Post Office and Ham on Rye, given a voice to society's outcasts and the weary, disillusioned everyman. His legend only grew after his death, as his works continued to inspire new generations of writers who sought to capture life with brutal honesty. Bukowski's death, like his life, reflected the timeless human struggle with mortality, legacy, and authenticity. His work often wrestled with the inevitability of death, but also with the importance of living fully in the face of it. Unlike many literary figures who are sanitized or romanticized posthumously, Bukowski's image remained intact. He was still the chain-smoking, beer-drinking outsider who found poetry in the mundane. In the years following his death, Bukowski has been immortalized through countless reprints of his work, biographical films, and artistic tributes. His tombstone, inscribed with the words, "Don't try," remains a fitting reminder of his philosophy, one that rejected pretension in favor of raw experience. His death may have closed the chapter on his personal journey, but his words continue to resonate, ensuring that Bukowski in all his irreverent glory never truly fades away. William Biff McGuire, an accomplished stage and screen actor, passed away at the age of 94. His death was of natural causes, marking the end of a long and distinguished career in theater and film. McGuire's passing, though not as widely publicized as that of Hollywood's most iconic figures, reflected the quiet dignity of many veteran performers whose work shaped the entertainment industry across generations. McGuire's career spanned decades, with notable performances on Broadway, television, and in films. He was particularly recognized for his work in classic American theater, earning respect for his ability to bring depth and nuance to his roles. Unlike many actors of his era who sought the constant limelight, McGuire was dedicated to the craft itself rather than the fame that often accompanied it. His passing served as a reminder of the countless talented actors who contributed significantly to the arts, yet remained outside the sphere of mainstream celebrity culture. The immediate consequences of McGuire's death were largely felt within the theater community, where he was remembered as a consummate professional and a mentor to younger actors. His work in productions like The Young Man from Atlanta and his numerous Broadway performances demonstrated his commitment to storytelling, something that lives on in the plays he helped bring to life. Unlike the shocking or scandalous deaths of some figures in entertainment history, McGuire's passing was a quiet conclusion to a life dedicated to art. However, his contributions continued to be recognized posthumously, ensuring his legacy as a respected figure in American theater. The way McGuire is remembered speaks to a broader truth about mortality and legacy in the entertainment industry. While some stars are immortalized through controversy or dramatic personal stories, others, like McGuire, leave behind a body of work that speaks for itself. His death reinforces the idea that fame is not the only measure of impact. Sometimes it is the dedication to craft, the consistency of performance, and the respect of peers that define a lasting legacy. McGuire's life and work continue to be celebrated in the theater world, where performances he once gave serve as a benchmark for future actors. Though not immortalized in the way larger-than-life celebrities are, his name remains honored among those who value theater's enduring power. His death is a reminder that artistic contributions, no matter how quietly made, can leave an imprint on history, shaping the way future generations appreciate and engage with the performing arts. Kurt Georg Kiesinger, the Chancellor of West Germany from 1966 to 1969, passed away on March 9, 1988, at the age of 83. His death was natural, marking the quiet end of a life that had been deeply intertwined with the political transformations of 20th century Germany. Kiesinger's career spanned some of the most tumultuous periods in German history, from the rise and fall of the Third Reich to the post-war reconstruction and the delicate balancing act of Cold War diplomacy. Kiesinger's tenure as Chancellor was defined by an era of pragmatic conservatism, one that sought to stabilize West Germany both internally and on the world stage. However, his past association with the Nazi Party before and during World War II cast a long shadow over his legacy. Though he had served mainly in a propaganda role, his membership in the party became a point of fierce controversy during his leadership. By the time of his death, Germany had undergone significant shifts. His era of post-war diplomacy had given way to a more progressive and open society, one in which figures like Willy Brandt and Helmut Schmidt pushed forward social and economic modernization. The immediate impact of Kissinger's passing was subdued. By 1988, he was largely a figure of the past, remembered more for the controversies surrounding his Nazi-era affiliation than for his political leadership. His chancellorship had been marked by the formation of the Grand Coalition between his Christian Democratic Union and the Social Democratic Party, a necessary but uneasy partnership that sought to bring stability in a time of economic and social uncertainty. While he helped steer West Germany toward economic growth and improved relations with Eastern Bloc countries, his tenure lacked the lasting, transformative impact of his successors. In a broader sense, Kissinger's death highlighted Germany's ongoing reckoning with its past. The late 20th century saw a generational shift, with younger Germans challenging the lingering presence of former Nazi-affiliated figures in positions of power. His legacy remains a reminder of the complex moral landscape of post-war Germany, where many leaders had to navigate their past actions under the Third Reich while shaping a democratic future. Despite his political achievements, Kissinger is often remembered through the lens of his past, especially due to the famous 1968 moment when activist Beate Klarsfeld publicly slapped him, denouncing his Nazi connections. While his name does not carry the weight of other German leaders like Adenauer or Brandt, his role in shaping post-war Germany is preserved in political history. His story reflects the broader struggle of a nation confronting its history while striving for progress, illustrating the ways in which power, memory, and morality remain deeply intertwined in the human experience. Shirley Ross's death from cancer in 1975 at the age of 62 was a quiet and largely unpublicized event, reflecting both the transient nature of Hollywood fame and the personal choices that led her away from the limelight. Despite having been a prominent actress and singer in the 1930s and 1940s, her passing went unnoticed by many outside the entertainment industry. Yet for those who remembered her, including longtime friends Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, it was an opportunity to honor a talent that had once shone brightly. Ross's career had reached its pinnacle with the duet Thanks for the Memory, alongside Bob Hope in the big broadcast of 1938. The song became iconic, immortalizing her voice in popular culture, yet her career never fully capitalized on that success. Her gradual retreat from Hollywood, first due to studio politics and later by personal choice, meant that by the time of her passing, she was more of a memory herself, a figure from a bygone era. Her death underscores the fleeting nature of fame, particularly in an industry that constantly seeks the next rising star. Unlike contemporaries who remained in the public eye through reinvention or controversy, Ross quietly withdrew from show business to focus on her family. In an era when Hollywood was transitioning from the golden age of musicals to the grittier realism of post-war cinema, her style of understated charm and melodic delivery became less in demand. The immediate consequences of her passing were limited, as her contributions had already faded from mainstream recognition. However, her death was not entirely unnoticed. The outpouring of respect from industry figures like Hope and Crosby, who sent a large floral tribute to her funeral, reflected the deep personal connection she had made in Hollywood. Hope, in particular, never forgot the woman with whom he shared one of his most famous on-screen moments, demonstrating how certain figures remain cherished in the hearts of those they worked with, even if public recognition diminishes over time. Ross's story highlights how we, as a society, choose to remember entertainers. While she did not leave behind a legacy of dramatic film roles or controversial moments that might have sustained her fame, her contribution to music and film remains intact through recordings and archival footage. Her case exemplifies the way memory and nostalgia function in popular culture. Some figures become enduring legends, while others are cherished within a smaller, devoted circle. Through classic Hollywood retrospectives, curated film history discussions, and the lasting appeal of songs like Thanks for the Memory, Shirley Ross remains a part of cultural history, albeit in a quieter, more understated way. Her death, though relatively unheralded at the time, serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between fame, personal choice, and lasting artistic influence. George Burns, the beloved comedian, actor, and entertainer, passed away on March 9, 1996, at the age of 100. His death was from natural causes, a peaceful end to a century-long life marked by laughter, resilience, and an unshakable connection to American entertainment. Burns's passing was not a sudden tragedy, but rather the culmination of a long, illustrious career that spanned vaudeville, radio, television, and film. His ability to adapt to changing times and humor styles reflected the evolving nature of entertainment in the 20th century, and his death marked the close of an era. Burns' life mirrored the transformation of American entertainment. Beginning as a vaudeville performer in the early 20th century, he found mainstream success alongside his wife and comedic partner, Gracie Allen. Their radio and television program, The Burns and Allen Show, was a staple of American households for decades. When Gracie passed away in 1964, many believed Burns's career had ended, but he reinvented himself, proving that comedy and life could continue even in later years. His career resurgence in the 1970s, including his Oscar-winning performance in The Sunshine Boys, 1975, and his portrayal of God in Oh God, 1977, cemented his legacy as a performer who could connect with audiences across generations. The immediate reaction to Burns's death was one of deep admiration and celebration of his extraordinary life. His passing was not met with shock, but with gratitude for the longevity of his career and the joy he brought to millions. Hollywood mourned a legend, but there was no scandal or tragedy, only respect for a man who lived fully and entertained until the very end. His humor and longevity became symbolic of resilience and the ability to find laughter in every stage of life. The enduring legacy of George Burns is evident in how we commemorate him. His distinct voice, round glasses, and ever-present cigar remain cultural symbols of classic American comedy. He is immortalized through his books, television reruns, and the impact he had on later comedians. Burns' ability to defy aging stereotypes, remaining relevant well into his 90s, continues to inspire performers today. Ultimately, Burns' death reminds us of comedy's power to transcend time. His life was a testament to humor's role in overcoming hardship, from the Great Depression to personal loss. While his passing marked the end of a golden age of comedy, his legacy endures, proving that laughter truly is timeless.